Good morning. I guess for me, morning. For you guys, it could be afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. We are actually getting started on the next circle thing, which is area, but we're going to start by practicing arc length. So this first question is finding the minor arc. The second one is finding the major arc where you need to subtract from 360. So go ahead and take a couple of minutes and find the arc lengths of these two circles. All right, so we are finding the area of a circle. The nice part about this is that it should be review. It's a very simple formula and it's pretty much a calculator problem. So hopefully it will be simple and you guys will get it done really quickly. So just a reminder of the formula. The formula for area is pi r squared. R is the radius. You always have to use a radius. In circumference, we could use a diameter, but in area, we have to have the radius. So if you have a diameter, you need to make sure you divide it by 2 first and then plug it into the formula. Again, we are going to use 3.14 for pi just so that it keeps our answers consistent. And because it's area, it's two-dimensional, which means we are going to have square feet, square inches, square yards, okay? So that being said, we're just going to go through a few examples, pretty straightforward, and then you guys will have time to get started on your exit ticket. So here is our first one, finding the area of this circle. I'm going to pull up my other screen. And our formula says 3.14 times r squared, or pi r squared is the area. We know that halfway across the circle is a radius, so that means that 6 is the radius. So this is literally as simple as plugging this in to 3.14 times 6 squared. So 3.14 times 6 squared should get you 111 or 113.04, and because this is meters, this is going to be meters squared, okay? I would really recommend that you are doing the calculations along with me to make sure that you are putting it into your calculator correctly, because every calculator does kind of do the order of operations a little bit differently. Okay, so here is another one. This one obviously is a diameter question. So this is one where we're going to have to do something first. Okay, when you have a diameter, we need to find the radius. And so remember, a diameter is all the way across, a radius is halfway across. So if I was to divide this by 2, it would tell us that our radius was 9, so that our whole diameter was 18. So our radius is 9. And then it is literally just, again, plugging in 3.14 times 9 squared. And if I plug in 3.14 times 9 squared, I end up getting 254.34 inches squared. Okay, so with a radius, you don't have to do anything other than plug it in. With a diameter, we have to divide by 2 to find our radius first and then plug it in. Okay, so those are the two different types of problems that you're going to do for finding area of a circle. So I'm going to have you guys practice one of each of them. So here is the first one. You're going to practice given a radius. So it should take you like 1 minute to get this set up and plugged in. So take a minute and find the area of this circle. Okay, so now this next one is a diameter question. So again, remember, you're going to divide your diameter by 2 to find your radius and then plug it in. So go ahead and find the area of this circle. Okay, so the last type of problem we're going to do is when you're given an area and you have to work backwards to the radius. So we're going to be using our formula to divide out and be able to solve for the radius of a circle. So the first thing that we need to recognize is our formula. Okay, so our formula says the area is 3.14 times r squared. And in this example, it tells us what the area is. So that is what we would be plugging in to the area. So we would be saying that 72.5. Sorry about that. I was interrupted there with a meeting. Okay, so we're going back. We're plugging in 72.5 for area. The 3.14 stays here, and r squared stays here. And now we have an equation that has a variable, excuse me, that has a variable that we can solve for. So we are going to leave r squared alone, and we're going to divide both sides by 3.14. Okay? So r squared comes down here, and 72.5 divided by 3.14 is 23 point, I'm just going to round it to 0.9. Okay, 23.09. I always think a good, a good rule of thumb is to round to 2 decimal places. It makes it a little bit more accurate than just 1 decimal place. And so now to undo a square, we're going to square root. So that tells us that the square root of 23.09 is 4.81, and this would be in inches. Okay. And if when you've gone through this, you're like, well, how do I know that I did this correctly? That's where checking your work will come in. So if I want to know if this is really the right answer, I am just going to work backwards, plugging this in for R and making sure that I get 72.5. So I'm going to say 3.14 times 4.81 squared, and it is 72.6. And yes, that's going to be close enough, because remember, when we're rounding, it does change things. So without having exact, you're going to be close enough. So that's why I'm saying round to 2 decimal places and make it be a little bit better. So again, we're just plugging it in for A, dividing by 3.14, and square rooting. Okay. So you guys are going to do one practice of this one. Oh, there we go. Now there we are. So you guys are going to do a practice of this one, doing the exact same thing. Notice that this one asked you for the diameter. So that means when you find your radius, you do have to multiply it by 2. So go ahead and get started on getting this one done, and then get your exit ticket done, and then you are done for the day. All right. See you later.